Hello and welcome everyone to this special episode of webinar. And this is not typical SEO surgery in India, and it's a very special one because here we will be talking about how SEO meets. Here we'll be talking about how SEO meets real estate. And I'm sorry, there was something technical wrong at my side. I'll fix that. So today we'll be talking about how SEO meets real estate, and it's going to be fun because we have three wonderful experts with us who are really good at SEO and real estate as well. I hope we'll all learn a lot of things to win digital in India after this episode. In this episode, yeah. So let's start with the introductions. So we have three wonderful guests with us. One is Bartosz. So this guy surely doesn't need any introduction. If you are an SEO, so he's world famous. He's father of SEO, JavaScript SEO, whatever you call it. And then we have Ravi, who is a very well-known figure in Indian real estate market. He's Chief Product and Technology Officer uh, for three bigger brands there, Makaan.com, Housing.com, and PropTiger.com. He's a wonderful guy with amazing experience in SEO and technology and product, everything. So I think he's going to share some really good tips with you guys today. And then we have Badr, who is working with propertyfinder.ae, which is a Dubai-based company, and they're basically in Middle East, and it's like one of the very well-known brands in Middle East. So he would be sharing some really good insights with you as well. So, well, that was a brief introduction. So I'm sure you want to know more about these experts. So let's start with a formal introduction where these guys can introduce themselves real quick and share some interesting things about them. So let's start with Bartosz.
Hello, guys.
Go ahead,
Hello, nice to meet you. Today I'm going to be talking about the case study of a Polish real estate. I think it's second biggest Polish real estate website. And when we actually started working with them a few years back, they were struggling with growth a lot. So they were one of the first clients in Poland that actually trusted us enough to go with a white hat approach to SEO. So they were, in a way, leaders of the industry. So I feel like that's why it's worth sharing. So let me share my screen. It may take a second because I need to figure out that on both screens, which is usually tricky. Okay. So we're sharing screen number 2. Share. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Ethan, just to confirm, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Everything works?
Yes.
Okay, so today I want to talk about technical SEO as a driver of sustainable growth for real estate websites. And what that means, we found that technical SEO and overall clean structure is the key to grow in the real estate business, not only in Poland, but we also work with states. We are an SEO and content marketing agency based in Poland, mostly working with international clients. And Morizon.pl, as I said before, is second biggest real estate website in Poland. We're hoping to be first biggest pretty soon, and that's because we're growing extremely fast ever since we started focusing on SEO. As you can see, I actually can't share analytics, but the growth is enormous for this website. And when we started, it looked a little bit like that. So it was like most database-driven websites without technical SEO, they were extremely cluttered. And with each database-driven website, there is a very good potential for chaos. And I guess most SEOs or technical SEOs actually saw that hundreds of times. And let me explain why database is maybe not an issue, but database can cause so much trouble. If you look at any, I'm guessing you don't speak Polish, but if you look at any real estate website, you will see things like here, like is it apartment, is it for sale or for rent, what's the price, how big the place is, what's the price per square meter or square feet, and so on. So all these filters create a lot of potential URLs. And just to give you an example, if you look at, it looks pretty straightforward at first. Let's say you're a real estate website, you have like 500,000 offers in your database, which is probably not that much for India now that I think about that, but we have around 500,000 here in Poland, which is, I think, the biggest database. And it looks pretty straightforward. We have a city plus apartment mix, or city plus house, city plus office, city plus, and so on. So this creates quite a few potential URLs. But then you need to add if you want to buy or rent this place, and so on. So that creates a lot of filters to your database that create unique mixes of how it looks like. So there is this endless problem that we as SEOs struggle with, is should I index this filter? Because, for example, let's think about that. Okay, we have all the city and an apartment or house mixes indexed, but how about luxurious apartments? Um, would you index those pages? At first, it seems straightforward. Let's add, because people search for that. Let's add luxurious apartments in a city. So, for example, luxurious apartments, Manhattan for sale. Should you index that? Which seems at the very first instinct that, yeah, let's do that. Mm, and before I explain why this may be a bad idea, let's look at Morizon's numbers. So currently, Morizon has around 1 million indexed pages. It's 900 something K pages. That's only from that's created from around 500,000 offers, and this is very good. So if you have 500,000 items in your e-commerce store, in your real estate website, or anywhere that's data driven, this is very good if you have this kind of ratio. And let me show you why. Um, with 500,000 offers and only 900 pages indexed, um, it sounds like a lot, but let me show you. And let's come back to the luxurious apartment example. So we actually have luxurious as one filter, but we didn't mix it with the cities. And let me show you why. And I'm sorry for this super ugly slide, but I was trying, like, that was complex math when I was creating that. So if you look at that, you've got luxurious and apartments, houses, offices, land. I'm guessing land and garage is something you can straight away remove, because no one is looking for luxurious garage, I guess. And now, if we look at that, Poland has 940 cities and 43,000 villages. That creates around 44,000 cities, villages in Poland. So you've got luxurious apartments and 44K combinations of the city. And adding just one filter called luxurious creates 220,000 new potential landing pages. So just one extra filter creates actually, let's say, 20% of the whole domain worth of pages. So the best solution for that is, first of all, only index pages with more than 10 results. So if we look at that, I'm guessing you won't have luxurious apartments in a very tiny village when there's like 10 houses in total. Or you won't have like luxurious apartments in Death Valley, Nevada, in the States, because this is a desert. And they won't have apartments, but houses in there. So moving forward, if you have a page like this one, so I was looking for houses in a very small village near Warsaw, Poland, and it says that there are no results for that. So this page has to be unindexable, so it has to be set to no index follow, but you also need to structure your navigation in a way that's going to somehow block robots from accessing this page, so you're not risking the index bloat problems. So one more question actually we got from the audience, and I figured it's going to be easier to address that here. with filters, with database-driven website, you will end up with pages like this one. So this is Morizon, and there is that for rent apartments in Katowice, which is a city in Poland. And then if you're gonna change the price from 800 to whatever, it's gonna create this dynamic URL based on my filter. That's actually an added value, added filter to the core URL we can see here. So make sure that all of those URLs are not indexable. If they are, clean them up, change them to nice URLs that you control. So you never index filters like price or something like that. Make sure that you have a very, very clear structure. This is the biggest secret we have behind the growth of Morizon. So when we started working with them back in the day, uh, the structure was enormous. I don't remember the numbers, but it was way bigger than 1 million. I'm guessing it was in X millions of pages. And what was actually pretty risky and painful, we removed, I'm guessing, 60% of the index within the first months. That actually resulted in a massive, massive growth after like 4 or 5 months from that moment. Which brings me to one more issue that every single real estate website is going to struggle with, and there are different ways to address that problem. And the issue is that you will have, and this is a wonderful drawing I created last night, you will have 1,000 of new offers each day added by all of the real estate people in your country. But at the same time, there are thousands of offers that either sell or expire or are not no longer valid that have to go up, and you need to clean them out from your structure as soon as possible. So how we address that issue, and that's the problem the same for e-commerce. When you have a product that's gone, we created this wonderful solution that's still a little bit controversial. Some people, including Googlers, advise you to keep the expired offer but mark it as no index. But in our case, it was really eating up crawlers' budget. So Google was really crawling that all of the time, all of the expired offers, and we couldn't really fix that. So right now, if Googlebot is going to visit an expired offer on Morizon.pl, we are going to create a 301 redirect plus a pop-up saying that this offer is expired, and the user is going to be redirected to the category above. And yeah, this is how we actually solve and clean up the structure. And it works very, very well because the old offers, they are removed from the index quickly. So we played with solutions, like a lot of solutions to address the offers lifespan and churn. And this one was the one that worked very, very well. So one thing that you need to address, and I'm going to go quickly through that. So this is where we stopped growing. So we focused on technical SEO for the first 1 or 2 months. And after like 6 months of extreme cleanup, sorry, not one, yeah, for the like 6 months, but after 6 months, we stopped growing. And you can see that on one of the charts. So we focused really heavily on content marketing. And the team here at Elevate created a lot of viral campaigns within the real estate topics. But we still have less links than any of our competitors, but they're all done with 100% white hat approach of creating viral content. So we probably have like 10% links from the people who we overranked. So the quality is over the quantity here. And this led to a side effect of like enormous growth of the blog, where we share a lot of knowledge, which sometimes is an issue because it's really a massive traffic for the blog, which is not monetizing. But at the same time, all of the real estate offers are going up at the same time. So that's a win-win, I guess. A lot of the content we created was very, very popular on social media. So we had like thousands of shares and likes throughout Facebook. Twitter is not that big here in Poland, but mostly Facebook was really exploding with a lot of content. Keep it clean. That's one of the last slides, because I'm running out of time. So what we also did is we not only cleaned up our structure, so we removed probably few millions of URLs that were an index bloat. But we also removed. I don't want to say the wrong number, but it was around 95 or 93% of the links and referring domains we disavowed, because it was a fairly old website. It gathered a lot of spam and links created by some of the real estate people willing to push their own offers and so on. So we cleaned up most of the link profile, keeping only natural good links. And we keep on doing that. So we are reviewing the link profile each month or a few months, depending on the scale of growth. And we keep the link profile really, really lean. And that's it. After it's all done, you get to enjoy your traffic and massive growth. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bartosz. It was really, really interesting. I mean, you shared a lot of things, and the best part was you were so organized. I mean, you covered everything on time. That's really good. Thank you so much for that. And also, thank you so much for covering the question we had from our users about dynamic URLs. And I think they got the answer as well. Thank you so much for covering that. And yeah, now I would like to invite Ravi and Badr if they want to add something here on Bartosz's website, or maybe if you have some general tip on what
I'm
Bartosz.
guessing their Polish isn't that well.
Yeah, but the rest of your knowledge is.
I think
That's true.
I think in Bartos's slide, what was clear that the bookkeeping of links is very, very important for a healthy growth of the traffic. When you are dealing with a large site and you have so many URLs to deal with, how to link which URL to which person, and how do you ensure that the redundant URL or the URLs which are now invalid, they are cleaned up properly. That's something generally people miss, because they enjoy creating new links and they enjoy creating linking of the website from different portions. But when it comes to cleaning up the existing mess, that's also equally important and crucial for a healthy traffic growth for the website.
Yeah, true. And another thing I noticed. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to add one more thing, it's not really because a lot of real estate websites, from my experience, are kind of ashamed of looking into their link profiles because they're worried there is some bad there are some bad things. But one thing within the real estate niche is a lot of middle people within the real estate niche are gonna create links to their own profiles. So if you have like what's the name? What's an English name for a guy selling houses? So if forgot that. But anyways, if a guy selling houses has his profile within your website, they will more often than not treat it as a satellite website to boost their presence. And they will use Fiverr. They will use a lot of shady places to build links, and you need to really monitor that.
Sure. And one more thing I noticed, Bartosz, in your presentation. So you spoke about solving expired deals through 301 and pop-ups, right? But that's kind of unusual way, right? The usual way to handle these kind of things is through 410s, I guess, where if you have a deal which is expired and you know it's permanently discontinued. Sorry?
Can you say it again? Sorry, I didn't understand the part.
So the way you are handling expired deals pages. So instead of 410s, where you say that this particular page is permanently discontinued and it will never come back. So if you start throwing 410, then Google gradually removes these pages from indexes, right? And then they don't spend
that. That's something that John Miller advised. That's something that a lot of Googlers advised. The solution you mentioned with for tens, like 400 tens. So basically returning like not 404, but the gone code. We did that, and we had. I don't want to lie to you, but the expired offers go in millions. The problem is that we kept returning 410, and Google never could crawl them. Could never remove that from the index. So we ended up having a website that had more 410s than 200 because we had like 5, 6, I don't know, 10 million expired offers. And it really negatively affected our crawler budget because Google was only visiting those expired pages. And we you can see on the chart there's one moment when actually the traffic really dipped. So we stopped doing that and we used 301 with a pop-up. Pop-up is not visible for Google, but it's only for users.
Yeah.
And this really again unlocked our growth. So it's not black hat, but at the same time it's not within the core recommendation from Google, but it really worked very, very well for us. And it solved the problem. You can only mark 50,000 of photo force as fixed. So we had a lot of issues in the Google Search Console, and the crawler budget was messed up. So I guess you guys know, if you're in real estate, you know what I mean. That's a massive pain in the
But then I believe you're also somehow taking care of relevance here, because if you're just 301 redirecting to, let's say, home page or a category page, that is considered as 404, which is not a good user experience as well, right?
So yeah, we use the like, if that's an apartment in Krakow for rent, we use the same like category page above. So if someone was looking for apartment for rent in Krakow, we're also considering building a new domain with just expired website, like archive of all the offers, and redirecting there. But we're really afraid of how it might play, because that would be the most user friendly, because I want to see the old offers sometimes. But yeah.
Cool. Sure. Thank you so much once again. And Badr, do you have something to add here?
Yes, just that when you index those 10 results, I think this one is must let's say real estate or any classified website to consider it, because when you have, let's say, you are not indexing those low listings results, you will, let's say, help reduce your bounce rates to a sustainable level. And this is something like it's good to have in your website. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for adding that, Badr. All right. So that was really, really interesting stuff from Bartosz. And thanks for adding comments, Badr and Ravi as well. So now we can move to the next case study, and Ravi will be talking about that. But before that, I would like to tell you about this wonderful ebook that Semrush has, kind of created or built for you, which is about digital real estate winning the Indian market with data. So this wonderful ebook covers a lot of case studies and interesting data topics which can help you win digital if you're real estate in India. And I will also share the link in YouTube chat right now so that you're all aware of the topic and what I'm talking about. And yeah, so we can start with the next case study. And I would like to invite Ravi to give a brief intro about the case study and then start his magic.
Okay.
Ravi, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Nitin. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. Let me quickly start with a small introduction from my end. I'm a techie explorer. I'm a person who loves to, scale things. As Nitin has already mentioned, as present, I'm working as a chief product and technology officer in a company which owns 3 super important, property portals in India, which is called housing.com, Makaan.com, and proptiger.com. This company, across these 3 platforms, we have the highest number of total traffic per month, highest number of organic traffic per month, highest number of users per month in a country as big as India. And along with these 3 platforms, we also have 3 sister content platforms, which is called Makaan IQ, Housing News, and Prop Guide, which is also the significant, the top running platform in the real estate content side, and enjoys the maximum number of traffic, significantly ahead from any of the competition out there. My journey in SEO started as an accident, I must say. There was a time 5 years back when, there was a situation when one of the property portal which we have, witnessed a sudden dip in the traffic. And then we all were puzzled. And I was that time very much into technology. People called me and said that, there must be some technical glitch. And then I jumped into it. I figured out there is no technical glitch. But when I started investigating further, I realized that, more than a technical, it's a strategic glitch. And during that investigation, I developed my own love and fascination for search engine optimization, and that is 5 years back. And since then, my love for SEO has been increasing. So that was that accident was my first date with SEO, but now I think it has converted into full marriage. I take care of user growth and adoption across all three platforms, and the few experiments which we have been doing across three platforms which I mentioned, we have witnessed more than 500% growth in last few quarters, across platform. And if I talk about the content platform, we have even significant growth, more than 1000% growth in SEO traffic across the three content platforms which I just talked about. Now, that's my quick sort of introduction. I'll move on to the case study, which Nitin wants me to talk about. And that is about, the interlinking. If you have a large website, it's very important that the organization of the website, the structure of the website is in such a way where it gives the maximum meaning to the bots when they come and crawl you, when they have to derive the semantic meaning or contextual information from different sections of the website. It is important that it remains convenient for them. And for that, what can you do? So I did few experiments at my end, and that those experiments were run in multiple phases. But I must say that as a result of those experiments, we sort of initially found a dip of around 30% in the traffic, but soon after a couple of months, we realized that once Google started understanding the entire structure of the website, the traffic went up by more than 100%. So before I start the presentation, let me just quickly tell you that, I think the core of the SEO is all about taking a user-centric approach. It doesn't matter whatever technical hacks or technical optimizations you do, whatever SEO optimizations you do. More than that, what you have to believe that, whatever you are building, whatever you are crafting as an experience has to be user-first approach. And when I say user, I'm not only talking about human being, I'm also considering Google bot as an user. So if you keep that in mind, then many things get sorted out. So let me jump to the case study which I was talking about. Let me cast the screen just a second. I hope it's visible to everyone.
Yes, perfect.
Great. So, the case study mostly talks about the interlinking of the different sections of the website. If you talk about the fundamentals of interlinking, one has to first understand the nature of the site, the different structure, the different sections of the site, and understand what kind of physical and virtual silos may exist in your site. So let's say, for example, if you are dealing with a real estate website, you are fundamentally going to deal with the real estate of the country, wherein you will have different estates, different cities, different neighborhoods or localities. And in those localities, you will have different developments and different developers, different agents and things like that. Now, this structure which I just talked about is a static physical structure, which anyway exists in the physical world. But along with that, you will also have the virtual structure, which talks about, let's say there is a city called Mumbai, and then you want to create a section in your website which talks about all the luxury properties in Mumbai. Similarly, let's say you want to create a section which talks about, which deals with the affordable housing in different cities in India. So things like that are sort of virtual. They are not physical structure, but they are meaningful sections of the site. The thing is, whenever you are going for planning, whenever you are going for restructuring of the website, or you are creating the website from scratch, it's very important to understand your physical and virtual silos, right? Once you have that understanding, you can define different sections so that, when Google bot comes for crawling of your site, it gets a very, very clear and semantic information, very clear knowledge of which section of the site is dealing with what kind of keywords, what kind of search terms, right? So site structure is very important, and generally people get confused by site structure as having a home page and then the next level page from home page and then the adjacency 2 level pages. But more than that, you should not only take care about the physical structure but also the virtual structure which I just talked about. Next, in the interlinking space, what is important is that how you are distributing the links across different sections of the website. So let's say you have created hundreds of silos in the website. How are you going to create links in different silos so that the meaningful links or the meaningful pages which are catering to the high density search terms are linked better than the low density search term pages. So link distribution is an art, and I will be talking about what we did in this particular category. The third one is something which is a revelation to me when we did our own experiment, is link prioritization. So whenever people talk about links, they think that two links in your website, they are equal in weightage, equal in priority, which is not true. You want some of your links in the website to be ranking more because they have the advantage of attracting more traffic compared to others. So how do you, so when you do the link distribution in the website, how do you do it in a way wherein the high priority links are enjoying the better real estate or high visibility real estate in the site? And that means you are giving a signal to the search engine bots that these are more important links than the links which are there probably in the footer of the site. So prioritization of link is something which one should definitely keep in mind while doing the link structuring and distribution. Then the next one is, every site which we are going to deal with, specifically in real estate, is going to have different types of content. People write editorial content, people have content pouring in from agents and developers in a crowdsourced fashion. How do you link that particular content which is coming from the external world and the content which your editorial team is writing in a meaningful way to the most relevant and important pages of the website? That's also very important. And the last one is housekeeping of links. We have touched about this particular topic in the previous case study, but I'll be quickly talking about this. This basically talks about if you have millions of links in the site, and then only creating those links is not very important, but it's also very important that you do a very good, very elegant bookkeeping of these links, and the cleanup process, the relinking process, all those things are fairly automated, so that your site doesn't face a situation wherein many of the links are orphan links or many of the links are stale links, wherein you don't want the traffic to come, but Google bot is finding it somehow relevant. So having a cleaner structure, having a cleaning process around links is also super important. That is what I meant by housekeeping of links. So let me share what exactly we did. As I said that understanding the silo of the website is very important. So how to create physical silos? Physical silos is very commonsensical in whatever domain. If you are working in real estate, as I said that it's very commonsensical that you will have a physical silo in the website based on the country structure. So what we did is that we started with physical silo, and then we went into the virtual silos creation on the website. And this was primarily based on the geodata information which we have in India. And then post that, we started creating site structure where we not only created the direct pages but also created taxonomy pages. And this was aligned with the research process which was parallelly done with thousands of keywords which you want the traffic to come for, right? So you have a universe of keywords wherein you want for which you want to fetch the traffic. So we did the analysis of those keywords. We understood that what kind of keywords could be relevant for which kind of URL or taxonomy URLs, and then we try to create a mapping wherein this particular section is going to deal with all these sub universe of the keyword. And similarly, so aligning the search term universe with the different sections of the site is also equally important. As I talked about link distribution with a prioritization logic in it. So what we did in the site which I'm talking about, which is Makaan.com, we created 3 priority link buckets. So we said that these are the top 20% link which enjoys the 80% of the traffic. So why don't we, wherever we have to do the link distribution in the site, the highest priority link will be placed in the most important real estate of the page, which is like top of the fold, and they will be repeated maximum time. So rather than if I have the luxury, if I take this in a with the concept of you have a page and you want to distribute the juice of that particular page to different URLs or different destination, then my first and foremost priority will be to pass it on to those pages or those URLs which target those search terms which enjoy as the maximum number of traffic. So this top 20% of the traffic top 20% of the links are the priority one bucket. And similarly, we created the next middle bucket, and the rest of the links which are essential for your site, but aggregate level they are not attracting. They are long tail of URLs. They are not going to attract a significant traffic because of the nature of the URL there. So we created these three priority buckets, and then we said that let's distribute these priority buckets of URLs in different sections of the websites in such a way so that the highest priority links get on the top, and the lowest priority links get placed in the footer. At the same time, when we were creating this structure and link distribution, we also figured out that there were so many pages, so many URLs which were creating such a long tail structure, but they were not meaningful. They were trying to create a crowded situation in the relevant or important pages, and hence the per link page juice dilution was significant. So what we did, we said that many of the irrelevant or less relevant, significantly less relevant URLs should be removed out from the site, and we actually removed 73% of the links from the entire site, which used to exist earlier. So it was a scary step for us, because at any point of time you are removing 73% of the links or pages from your website. People will ask you the obvious question that how much traffic dip it's going to invite. But then we were very sure that having a crisp, concise, and very structured sort of strategy in terms of interlinking of the sites and different sections of the site is going to help us in the long term. So we did that. We took that call, and then we also created a technology tool wherein all the crowdsourced content which was coming out from the external world and the editorial content which was being created by the editorial team in the company, we parsed that particular text, and we figured out the opportunity of linking in that particular content. And wherever we found that there is a phrase or there is a term available which can be linked to a very significant URL which can have a significant amount of traffic, we automatically created those links in those contents. So basically, as a result of that, what happened that all the content which was there on the site, those content were automatically linked with the most important URL destinations on the site. So we did that, and you can see read in the slide, we did that, and the next outcome was that there was sudden 30% dip in the traffic, and we were scared with that for first 2 months. But gradually, when Google kept on crawling the site and understanding the structure of the site over a period of time, we found that the traffic is coming up, and within 3 months, the next month, after this dip, third month, we found that there is a 100% jump in the overall traffic on the website. So I think the outcome or the takeaway from this particular case study is as simple as this. Lot of people, lot of website owners or SEO guys, they have a lot of anxiety about what kind of links I can create from the external world to my domain. And so external linking is almost a big worry for everybody. But what I feel is that whatever domain authority, whatever page authority, whatever website authority you have created for your property, if you distribute that smartly within different sections of the site, if that is done properly, it's no way less significant than the external linking which you create. So that is what I had to share. While doing so, we created a lot of tools. We didn't want to do it in a manual fashion, because the sites which I'm talking about have millions of pages, and you can't just take care of such a big site in a manual way. So we created various types of automated tools for bookkeeping of links, for automatic cleaning of links, for content linking creation. I would quickly like to share one simple tool which will give you a glimpse of how important it is to understand the overall structure of the site. So now what are you going to see? Nitin, can you help me if the screen is visible in front of you?
Yes.
Great. So what you are seeing in front of you is a tool which we developed. So what we did is that we crawled our own site. We crawled all the links which were available in different pages of the site, and then we created a graph database. And then we created this visualization tool, which you can see in front of you. This tool basically gives you a sense of what kind of pages, what kind of entities in your website are connected to which kind of other entities or sections in the site. So right now what you are seeing, the query on the top is basically says that this box where my mouse is hovering, this is the home page, which is connected to a city page, which is connected to a locality page or a neighborhood page in that particular city. And right now what we are seeing is that there are 74 bubbles, 74 circles, and these circles represent the projects. So there are 74 projects which are connected to this particular locality. So you can get a sense that how links are flowing in and out from a particular URL destination in your site. Just extending this particular insight, the second example simply talks about that how many localities. So this is one of the locality in Mumbai, and how many localities are linked from this particular locality, and what kind of different projects are most linked with this particular locality. Similarly, this screen which you are seeing right now in front of you, this talks about, this is the home page, and there are two cities which are linked directly to the home page, and then within these two city URLs there is one one locality URL, and then there is another locality URL within the other city URL page. And how many links, how many projects are there which are commonly linked to the two locality URLs which I just talked about. So if you see on the top two, these top two bubbles, they are the projects which are not linked to, which are not commonly linked to these two URLs, but others are commonly linked. So basically what I'm trying to give you a sense that these tools, these visualization tools which we invested and created internally, they started giving us a sense that are the relevant pages significantly linked to the other relevant pages, are there pages which are unnecessarily linked. So a smart distribution of links and a smart distribution of page juice within the site was something we invested a lot of effort. And as I said that result was very fantastic. Last few quarters we have seen more than 500% growth on a site which is as big as Makaan.com. And as just basis this particular experiment, the case study which I talked about, within 3 months we enjoyed or we witnessed more than 100% traffic growth. So that is what I had to share, guys, today. I hope that was useful. Over to you, Nitin.
Thank you so much, Ravi. It was wonderful. I loved every single bit of your presentation, and especially this tool, this magical tool which tells you about how the interlinking is structured. It was really, really, really good and interesting. And I also love the fact how you are, solving this problem using SEO automation like this, linking from within the content. So I know a lot of big companies as well. They are not there yet. So, and you have implemented this beautifully, and you also shared about the numbers like 100% growth. And if you're talking about PropTiger or Makaan or Housing, any of these platforms which are really, really big in India, so I can understand how much 100% growth can be. So it was really good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now I would like to invite Bartosz and Badr if they have something to add here.
Just had to unmute myself. For me, I feel like this goes in line with my approach, but Ravi took it way deeper, which I'm impressed with the level of automation and everything in this department. I like that it was clearly stated that not all of the links should point to your domain, and I guess our approach is pretty much in line. So there is not much I can say, but just huge respect for the level of automation you've created for the website.
Yeah, and I think that's a difference. Sometimes I'm not sure. I'm not like pro there, but I think that's a difference between in-house and an agency, right? You cannot control all the aspects which are related to implementation of something. Because Ravi might be thinking like super scalable, that okay, if he's building the system, it is there for next decades. And when you are talking about solution, maybe you're, it's really hard to convince a company to invest, let's say 6 months building a system which will give you fruits in next maybe a couple of decades or something. So that's, I think, the major difference. But yeah, definitely this was amazing.
That's totally true. I guess we got to similar. We had similar goals and similar approach to that, but definitely, definitely, we had almost zero automation. Like we
Yeah.
obviously use crawlers and tools for visibility and all that, but with most of that, we basically created rules with developers that were kind of manual, or they automated that. But yeah, so I really envy that part.
Exactly. Well, I'm in-house and I also take some projects as a consultant. So when I talk in-house, I am in a different mode. I'm thinking about scalable solutions. And when I'm talking to my clients, then, I'm talking about stuff, okay, fix, and maybe, some kind of scalable solutions with less investment. So yeah, I can definitely feel what you're talking about. All right, Badr, do you have something to add here?
Not too much. I mean, like the way of automation is something that's like using data to make things better. I think this is like the next level of SEO in the future, is to whatever you're gonna do, either like internal linking or structure, it should be based on data and on the user, because I think this is most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that you're speaking after a few minutes, so I think you can keep going and talk about your presentation and go ahead with that. So stage is all yours, Badr.
Okay. Well, let me share my screen first.
Yeah, sure.
Well, like as you know, like the subject of this 15 minutes is practical insights into growing with SEO in a competitive real estate market. One of the websites that I may share some insights about it. It's Esimsar is an online real estate marketplace in Saudi Arabia, and it's owned by Property Finder Group, which is a leading real estate group operating in 8 markets. So Esimsar is providing you with the most convenient housing journey and displaying property listings along with value and trends, with the price and trend informations and rich property data and local market information. So we have been working systematically on our SEO, and we were proud of our progress. And since the beginning, like we identified the very serious problems that need to be fixed, and a lot of links that need to be disavowed, and a lot of things. Every change we implemented made our website stronger and with better visibility. And more than that is that we doubled our traffic and increased leads as well. So this slides will be about practical insights, like what you need to check and what can you do to have a better performance. So the first thing that I would like to start with is the site architecture. Like it's an exciting and always evolving subject. I think like every day we see new things regarding this topic. I think that the best and most logical structure for your website and to convey relevance to search engine is topical structure. Each page in the segment, if linked properly, flow upwards to the top of the segment, and where, let's say, each keyword fits in the hierarchy of our website architecture. And by putting keywords in the right place to enhance that, I think this one is the most important thing that you can do inside your website to communicate the topic and hierarchy of each page. You will always be able to create a top-down model using this structure, and let's say that top-down model will help you with competitive keywords that need a boost, and by building out the siblings that support the main topic by design and not by chance. Well, another thing is it's better to have a preferred landing page for critical keywords, since relevance is a prime directive of search engines, and things, let's say, such as internal links, backlinks, the page content and relevance of the page be linked to, and the page linking as well. So structure is thing that it's at the very core of good SEO. Second thing, like every structure comes with discoverability issues, and to help solve those discoverability problems in our internal linking architecture and enhance our cross-link in a site, like as a general site architecture, we were using data from various sources like Google search or Search Console data and crawl analysis like outlinks and the number of internal linkings on every page. And by combining and analyzing that data and get some insights, it could be like that page that have low number of internal links and good volumes of impression in Search Console. Those pages should have more links from pages that have higher equity and low outlinks. And it's kind of being more data-driven on this. These things that will help us in that understand that those pages that have a good potential and maybe a good if they are linked from other pages. It could be also like checking the pages that have very high click depth, and then by search impressions to spot pages that may be better performing by a better internal linkings. So the takeaway from this is analyzing data like this will help you spot better opportunities and solve architecture issues along the way. Less JavaScript means more efficiency, and I think like this one of the subject that Bartosz is love talking about, and by like you're doing a great job on LFA stuff. We're trying to make sure that Googlebot is able to properly render and see our critical content, and for more efficiency, it's better if this content can be indexed and the first wave of indexing and right away. Like, let's say you have a property for sale. If you are using JavaScript to render that content, it's gonna take too much time, and you will end up sometimes indexing an expired ad, or your competitors can outperform if they are indexing that quickly. Or it may not be indexed at all if you have a complex JavaScript. It's important to know that Google is separating indexing and rendering, allows them to index content that is available without JavaScript as fast as possible, and to come back and add content that does those, let's say, require JavaScript at later time. If you are using JavaScript to render your website, things will be more complicated, and especially for the website that have a content that can be expired, like classified, real estate, and marketplaces. Also, if we see it from technical point of view, it's complicated for search engines as well, like parsing and running JavaScript files is very time consuming. And part of that Google has to use a web rendering service to parse and execute that JavaScript, and then rendering, then Google can discover new links and add them to Googlebot crawling queue. And this can be days or weeks after the first wave of indexing. So generally, the content rendering process will be slower, and also your links as well. Like discovering your new links will be slower. So another aspect is that currently Google use Chrome 41 engine to do this job, like crawling. The fancy features of JavaScript's framework won't work in this version. Like, we don't want our code to be determined by the versions of Chrome engine that Google use for this task. And if JavaScripts are very complex, you have those complex files that make it a little bit harder. So the solution for this was, if we can do the job of rendering the page for the crawlers, we can be sure about the results of the render. So that's why you can go with solution like, I don't know, maybe server-side rendering or workarounds like dynamic rendering or whatever that's gonna be suitable for your tech stack. So the idea here is to make sure that to make sure that your content is appearing within the DOM, testing pages to see if Google can index that content, and using fetch with Google and see if content appears. So like historically, most of us have focused on making our desktop versions of our site load as fast as possible. But with Google switching to the mobile first index and increase in the number of users on mobile device, we also now focus on mobile speed. Like, mobile speed can impact revenues, leads, and bounce rate. One of the most important things that you can do for your site is reduce the time needed for first meaningful paint, allowing the browser to perform its initial rendering on the page faster. We can reduce the amount of time before this event occurs with optimization like deferring any CSS and JavaScript that is not initially needed, and prioritize the above the fold content. For Googlebot, a speedy site is a sign of good service, so it can get more content over the same number of connections. But if you have a connection timeout signals, crawling slowdowns, or if Google can't fetch or find that it's slow. There are many tools that can help you with that, like running page speed insights will show you which element block a page from rendering quickly, and also you may check your critical rendering path that have to load before the content can show up on screen. So if this content is blocked, your page will render slowly or not at all. So the takeaway is, and also like you can always check what the competitors are doing using, let's say, Chrome user experience report, when you find like real users data that help you understand key user experience metrics. So keep your eyes on the above default content loading, make it compact and speedier to get a better score. Well, this topic like Bartosz talking about, but like if you are listing properties on your website, those pages have temporary value because new users want to be on it after the property is sold or the property has been rented. The best approach is to build a process for these pages and trying to find the right balance in a way that those listings can be found by users, but not keeping that forever. So the solution can be keep the expired listings as a normal page with similar listings and inform the user that this listing is no longer available. So and after a period of time, you can go and no index that page or go with 404. So this approach is good. I think it's good for me because you're kind of having a good user experience and you are cleaning things rather than keeping those URLs that aren't really relevant. Well, mobile versus desktop parity and also relation with mobile first index. If you have two or more versions, like you're kind of using separate URLs, conducting a parity audit will help you compare the differences and look for errors. You can spot the differences between sites versions that will help you diagnose issues. And those issues can be links and internal links that are different in desktop than website, than the mobile. A pagination that is not reflecting the desktop setup and many other things like text, check with the variation of text between desktop and mobile. Faceted navigation.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
last 1 minute.
Okay, so I just want. Okay, so there's only one slide. Okay, so I will resume that. So faceted navigation is can create a few problems for SEO, and if you are, let's say, it creates a lot of duplicate content, which is bad. It eats up valuable crowd budget and can send Google incorrect signals. So you may try it, but they have a potential. Like look for high volume search keywords and allow for indexation of particular facet combination. Paginated pages and canonicalization, and this is actually a debate in SEO. Like some like trying to say, okay, I may not no index. I may do no index for pagination, or may I open it for the crawlers? And the idea here is like trying to find the best solution and test it, and it may, let's say, it may work for you and it may not work for the others. And the last thing is to be passionate and because you must. And thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. That was interesting as well. Well, when we speak about interesting stuff, time really flies. I mean, we are already, running out of time. So anyway, thank you so much, Badr, for sharing such interesting case study with us. And now I would quickly request Bartosz and Ravi if they want to add something here.
I know we're past time, so I won't go too much, but very nice that you focus on performance and indexing, something I really wanted to go with, but yeah, 10 minutes. But yeah, love that you geeked out a little bit.
Yeah, I'll simply add a few things related to the performance which Badr talked about. That's very, very crucial for SEO. Google shifting to mobile first indexing, it makes it more important. Some of the things which people should always take care about is isomorphic architecture. You should also check your critical rendering path of the website. Exploit caching as much as possible for faster page load. Image optimization is another area which can help you in SEO. Like we tried WebP for images. Moving from HTTP1 to HTTP2 is also is going to reduce some time. There are so many things I can keep on going, but these are few highlights which I would like to add from what Badr shared for the performance improvement of the site. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys, for understanding and covering everything super quick. All right. So now, without wasting any time, I'll quickly jump to Q&A because we have so many lovely questions here. And guys, let me inform you that we are trying to cover as many questions as possible. But if your question is not answered here for time constraints again, apologies. But this time we are planning to create an infographic with all the questions, all the interesting questions for you. So, keep an eye on our Twitter channel, Twitter handle. So there you'll see an infographic covering all the questions. All right. So quickly jumping to the first
It's
question. So
15
let's
hours.
start. I'm sorry, someone was saying something. No? Okay, all good. So, first question is, so being an SEO, what are the set of technical SEO points to be audited? So, who wants to answer that? Maybe Bartosz?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know which one which question we're tackling first. So being like an SEO, if you're looking at technical SEO points, I would start with first with obviously index bloat and the structure, but then all of the things that Badr mentioned. So everything related to is Google or different search engines, can different search engines index your page, can get your content quickly and in an efficient manner. And I would start from that. We don't have that much time, so I would keep performance, crawlability, index bloats, and clean structure. And if you start with that, you can't go wrong.
Cool. Thank you so much for answering that, Bartosz. I would also add user experience there because if you're doing anything and that hurts your user experience, that's not a good practice. So please do add that as well. All right.
Yeah.
So moving to the next question, which is really interesting one. So Kunal is asking. So I want to create some 2,000 words articles for real estate to generate leads. Do you really think I would be able to beat major players in this sector, such as Housing.com, Sulekha.com, and Makaan.com? So while this question is very close to the heart of Ravi, so I would invite him to answer this, please.
Sure. While the answer will, demands me to share how do you beat me, but then let me share my view. Even though there is a big website with high domain authority and things like that, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, as Nitin just said, what matters most is that what is your intent? Is your intent pro customer? Is your intent user centric? Right? If your intent is that, if you're really trying to help the user with some real good high quality content, ultimately it will work out. My suggestion will be, if you want to experiment that particular thing and invite or attract traffic, try some of the newest things like question and answer, try video formats in your article, try checklists. So try to do stuff which is not only about creating a meaningful content but also creating engaging content. Once people start engaging with your content, I think Google will start rewarding traffic to whatever you are doing. So that will be my quick answer.
Cool. Thank you so
If I
much.
can just add one thing, because what struck me with this question is the 2000 word. And like, if you want to create something that's going to beat all the big guys, don't focus on 2000 words, because that sounds like you're selling spammy articles.
Huh?
Just go with something that's going to blow people's mind, and that's something that's going to be linkable. So something that if you Google the idea of creating viral content, it will never say 2000 words or 1000 words or 500 words. It doesn't matter. So don't look at that from like SEO point of view. Look at that from creating an amazing story that will engage people or solve the problem of people looking for apartments.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks for adding that, Bartosz. All right, so Bartosz, because you're speaking already, so you can keep going. And the next question I can ask you then. So the question is, what KPIs do you follow to qualify uh, an index page as good or bad? Because you were just
I,
speaking about this topic.
I saw that question, and I loved it, because again, I wouldn't look at that as a pure KPI of having X amount of words of pages, whatever. If people are searching for something, so if you have luxury apartments in New Delhi, I'm guessing there is going to be a lot of search volume. But if you have luxury apartments like in some small shithole outside of Warsaw, never going to happen. That's one. But then think about that. If your page can terminate search, that's the only question. So first of all, if there is search, and then if your page can terminate that. So if I'm looking for something, is that page really gonna follow up with my initial intent? And then that's it. I'm sorry, this is not like more technical that you need to do XYZ, but you just need to understand two things. If there is search volume, if you can terminate search, which is the only thing that Google is looking for, and all the search engines.
Absolutely, I would definitely agree to that. All right, so let's take the last question for today. And the question is, so we spoke about expired deals, which is apparently one of the hottest topics when you talk about real estate. And there's a related question: how do you deal with duplicate listings? So we have expired deals and then a lot of duplicate deals, listings as well. So how do you deal with that? Ravi, do you want to answer that, please, quickly?
Sure, that's a very beautiful question. If you're working in real estate category, that's very relevant also. I'll say that I can share high level insight in terms of how do we do with that, because in a country like India, lots of there is no control in terms of what kind of listing people are uploading on the platform. So there can be high chance that there are duplicate contents within one supplier across supplier. So two things we do whenever we create search result pages or taxonomy pages which are showcasing multiple listings on the platform, we try to create diversity in the listing which we are putting on the page. And how do you create diversity? So we have in-house algorithm which basically calculates the closeness score between two given listings, and that could be dependent upon multiple information which is part of the listing, real estate listing which you have on the platform. So given two listing L1 and L2, what's the similarity score, what's the closeness score, or what's the duplicity score, that you need to calculate. Once you have that particular thing in the system, avoid showcasing two very close listing or two very similar listing on the same page in any search result page. Otherwise, Google will found that you are repeating the same content again and again. The second thing which we did was whenever somebody is trying to upload a listing, and in the real time we are calculating the listing, and we find that the listing closeness score, if we find that listing to be almost exact duplicate or some other existing listing in the system, then we alert the user and we basically reject the listing, saying that you can't have such a duplicate data in the system. And then users are prompted to either delete that listing or edit that listing, so that your system doesn't invite a lot of duplicate sort of data or content. So you have to safeguard that as at supply level. You have to ensure that even though some part of duplicate listing is in the system, the diversity logic on the search result page protects the duplicate content on the platform. So these are the two high level things. There are a number of other things. I would love to have a detailed discussions on YouTube or Twitter regarding this, but these are the two most important pieces to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the beautiful answer to a lovely question, Ravi. And well, I think with this, that's it from us for today. And once again, thank you so much, Ravi, Bartosz, and Badr for joining us. It was really sheer pleasure sharing the stage with you. And I just love this episode. I mean, everyone spoke about a lot of interesting things, and we covered a lot of different aspects of on-page SEO, especially. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing all your case studies. And I'm sure everyone of us learned a lot of things today, and we can help our real estate portals win India digitally. Thank you so much once again, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.